right, welcome back to Bourbon Month. This time we're going to do, if you're a Scotch drinker, we're going to find you some things that you could get into bourbon if you want to get into bourbon. So I'm excited because we get to taste now. So let's do it.
All right, Brent, I brought you in some bottles from home.
Okay.
These are all available on your shelf here today as well. So you should be able to find something and give it a try.
Okay.
Scotch, so the big difference between Scotch and bourbon, main big difference, 100% barley versus a blend of different grains. So that's going to be a little bit different. The other thing that's going to change a little bit is Scotch can use used barrels. Bourbon's all brand new oak.
Oh.
But these ones up here I've got are actually going to be stuff that's got finishing that's going to move you towards that Scotch direction.
Okay.
So the first one we're going to go with today is Michter's Unblended American. So it's not a bourbon technically. It doesn't state exactly why it's not bourbon. So it could be the fact that the mash bill is a little bit off of the bourbon one. It could be that they're using used oak. It could be that they are using not a dominant grain. So but it is all in new oak barrels, I believe, as well. So it might have, it's a little bit fun.
Okay.
So I think this one's going to be more for if you're a bourbon matured Scotch kind of guy. This might be a good route for you.
All right. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice, light, sweet. It's not going to be too oak heavy on you. So I think this would be, like I said, for someone who's looking at majority bourbon matured. So something like the Tomatin that you've got over there. It's a bourbon matured. We've got a couple other fun ones over there that are either 100% bourbon or mostly bourbon matured barrels. So I think this would be a good gateway there. It's got a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, and it's not too heavy. So that's another thing is Scotch is generally a lower proof mostly than bourbon. So this is a nice light. I think it's just over, it's 41.7. So it's just over that 80 proof mark.
Okay.
So I think it's a good start.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very good.
I gave Brent a little too much.
Yeah.
So I'll get him a new glass here. So the next one I'm going to move to is Maker's 46. So Maker's 46 is one of those first finished bourbons that I've ever come across. So they take their fully matured Maker's Mark bourbon and then they age it a little bit more with some French oak staves in there.
Okay.
So that's going to add a little spiciness. It's going to add a little extra vanilla. That's going to be something, again, similar to your majority bourbon matured, but it's also going to be something like a Glenlivet cognac, where it's got a little bit of that French oak influence on.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't as harsh on the nose on this one. Not a whole lot on it. Like, it didn't have that burn or anything. So,
it's got a little bit of that nice little spice there in the finish, and I think it's a good gateway getting into your bourbons from Scotch.
Yeah, I would agree. Totally.
So this is also wheated bourbon, so it's going to make it a little bit sweeter on top of it. So
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
And finally, we're going to get some wine matured here. So this is Thomas S. More Port Cask. So if you think about Angel's Envy, they made Port Cask finishing popular.
Okay.
So this is distilled at the 1792 distillery, and then they age it in an extended maturation process in a little bit of port casks. So port and sherry are some very common finishing barrels that you'll see over in Scotland. So this is going to get you into more of that wine finish. So if you're someone who's like a big sherry or port head, this will get you there.
Okay. I enjoy that. I never really thought that I would really care for like a port style, finished, or even like a wine finish, but I actually enjoy that. I might change directions and actually start drinking some of that.
Yeah, got a little bit of berries on the finish.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay.
And again, for an almost 100 proof product, it's really easy drinking and it's really fun.
Most definitely.
But also, so I know we started this saying this is Scotch to bourbon, but also if you're a bourbon person that wants to start moving towards Scotch, this will start getting you ready for those different cask finishes that you'll see.
Reverse the other way. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, excellent.
All right.
All right, we'll see you next week, guys. I think we got another episode of bourbon for this month, so tune in next week. See you later.